Welcome to the AFC Shakedown, brought to you by Mafia Sports Report, brought to you by BX Sports Jedi Network, and of course, my man over at Sports Dynasty. What's going on, Trevor? Glad to have you back. Glad to have you back, Kev. It's been so long, you're messing my words up. Glad to have you back, everyone. But there's one person missing. Curtis, who
missing quite a few.
But Juan will be back week 17, possibly week 18 for sure. Curtis is apparently he thinks he's on the wrong time zone, so maybe he'll be here, maybe he won't. We'll find out soon. So anyways, guys, man, what a weekend of football it was last week, and I was totally wrong about one game. And that was the Jets and Dolphins. We're getting. What is that noise in the background? Is that you, Trevor, or is that Jedi, Kev?
I don't know, background. Somebody here.
Oh, that's you? That's okay. TV playing or something? Okay. I hear something in the background.
Okay. Yeah, it's probably that's my in-laws.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Sorry. So let's get to the first one, which, my God, Jedi, Kev, what happened, man? 30-0. I thought you guys were going to do better. I really thought Zach Wilson was going to at least do something after being player of the week. Talk to us, man. What the hell happened in Miami?
Well, you see what it is, an embarrassing performance from the offensive line. I mean, Mekhi Becton played atrocious. Mekhi Becton, put it this way, I asked for Mekhi Becton, please update your resume because there is going to be a job opening for you at the Roxbury's. Him and Evan Neal both should be bouncers at the Roxbury's, or at least ushers for TD Jakes at his ministry, because they stink. Talk about they stink. They suck. They cannot block no one. And Zach Wilson, I'm not going to blame him. Be honest with you, he went down, but because you see the effort on the offensive line, nothing whatsoever. Again, I'm going to point at the offensive line, and where is the offensive line coach? Week after week, this is week 15. You don't see any adjustments, and granted, this was the 11th offensive line put together by the New York Jets. Oh, okay. Are we done moving around with the music?
Yes. Sorry.
All right. A little distracting, but let's go right.
My bad. Well, because Curtis has joined us.
So we're 6 o'clock. It's always 6 o'clock.
5 o'clock. You said
5
okay.
o'clock? Are you serious?
It's because it's his convenience. Because when I needed it for the wrestling,
we switched it.
We actually, whoa, wait, Kev, didn't we talk about this last week?
No.
Yeah, but that was next season, I thought.
Back in September when we had the WWE pay-per-view, you said no. You stand on your line.
No, but
it's Festivus. That's why it's Festivus. Happy.
No. But I said,
but out our grievances.
No, but
What's going on, man?
Curtis, when we left last week, I said moving forward 5 o'clock because it's easier for everyone.
Season.
No. I thought that last season too. I didn't hear anything about this day today, but
that's all right.
United, we're strong. United, we're strong.
I don't need to go crazy. I'm already going crazy.
Unreal, guys. You see why this damn AFC Shakedown is going to crap.
Oh, man,
no, I'm just joking.
My brain's on fire.
So continue on, Kevin, about the performance of the Jets.
Before we go on, let's acknowledge the chat. I like to do that on my channel.
Yes, absolutely.
Acknowledge the chat. Without the chat, we're crap. So
absolutely,
salute everyone in the chat. We acknowledge you guys. Salute
Scott. What up, man? Appreciate Scott. Cali Blitz.
Ozzy, dude.
Ooh.
What's up, brother?
I got Pearl Harbor by Tommy O.
No, I got you back. Fellow Green will stay together because you're wearing a green shirt there, pal.
But it's got 1984.
That's a good year.
That's
a good year. Nintendo came out. That's a good year, man.
So
I was in the middle of killing zombies, dude. I was playing a zombie killing game, getting ready for AFC Shakedown.
By the way, Kev, I appreciate you doing that because sometimes I get caught up with the thing and I forgot to look over. So thank you guys for stopping in. Everyone that's watching right now, tuned in. Go ahead, Kev.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Let's get right back to that horror show, that walking zombies. That's called the Jets offensive line. My God, that was atrocious. My goodness, they were terrible. And again, I personally, I would have loved them at the end of the week here to have the offensive line fired. I know it's the Christmas season. You don't do that. You wait for the end of the year, all that good stuff. But he has to be held accountable. You don't see not even at least the offensive line shift, a tackle pull, nothing. They just stand there like turnstiles. They collect more and more. They stand there better than the MTA turnstiles in the subways. They're terrible. They're atrocious. And again, I don't think they win out. I think they're going to lose every game. They got the Commanders tomorrow with Trevor Siemian. I mean, my God, I don't trust them to win that. And I want Salah Khan. I know Rodgers gave a vote of confidence, say come back. I would like everyone, yada, yada. With that display, if they lose out, you got to ask those tough questions. This Jet team is pathetic, man. They're just atrocious. They embarrassed the Jet Nation there in Miami. You lost 68-13 in 2 games to the Miami Dolphins. You're one of the most hated rivals. Even when the Jets are down at times with the Rich Coltsites, at least they put effort against the damn Dolphins. I expected the Jets to play the game Kansas City played against the Patriots. The Patriots lost. We knew they were going to lose, but that game was hell competitive, Trevor. The Jets, they did nothing. They gave us a Festivus pole right up the rear, or right up the A-cap, man. Terrible display.
We're pulling for Pitt, by the way. Happy Wolverine over Cincy. But real quick, Kev, what do you feel about the whole Rodgers thing? Like, tell me, like it seems just like a big circus ever since he got there. Well, he's going to come back, and then he comes out last week on Pat McAfee or this weekend says, "Oh, it was never in doubt. I was never going to come back. It wasn't realistic." It's what's going on there with that? Like, how are you guys taking that whole Rodgers situation? By the way, too, I mentioned it 2 weeks ago about him being on the sideline with the headset on. It's like, what is he doing now? Like, he does nothing down there. Like, it's not like he's making you guys play better. You guys have been worse since he's been down there. So, what's your thought on Rodgers moving forward?
Rodgers is there to get the other players. And it sucks because if the head coach cannot inspire and motivate your team, then you have to ask the question. That's why I asked the question, Salah shouldn't be the head coach. If you need Aaron Rodgers to be at that sideline to give inspiration to the rest of the other 53 men on that roster, let's say 52, where we'll take out Zach Wilson, to inspire to play above water, dangling the carrot in front that, I might be back if you guys keep me in postseason contention. If we play well, where we're in the hunt and we could win out and possibly run the table, I might come back. And that gives that extra motivation. Then there's something wrong with the head coach. There's something with the coaching staff, the head coach, because you're going to need an injured player who, by the way, should be off the field rehabbing, getting his Achilles strong, and worrying about next season than worrying about motivating all the other 53. That's the head coach's job. And you know what? That's a poor reflection. This is 2 years of Salah. Terrible head coach. He cannot return, but unfortunately, as a Jet fan, it's going to deaf ears.
Yeah, I've been down that road before, man. I think he's a good defensive coordinator, and we all talked about this. Some coordinators just can't take that next step, and maybe he's just built to be a coordinator, and that's okay. But the Jets ownership has to understand that. Get to Curtis. Curtis, man, I was wrong. I thought the Jets would give you some type of fight. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Zilch. Talk to us, Curtis.
I mean, I don't know. Like, the talk of Salah, he's a defensive coordinator. You got no offensive line. You got a terrible coordinator. I mean, terrible, incompetent coordinator.
I agree.
And you got no quarterback. I mean, no one. It's like the same thing they did to Flores in a sense that, he had no coordinator. He had a decent coordinator first season, and he moved off to get Gailey. And then there was a switching of the quarterbacks. I don't know who put him in there. They didn't jive with Gailey. They got to 10-6, but then Gailey took off. And the team was poised for that next season. But then somebody shipped off Eric Flowers and let Karras walk. And then they had the 45th best offensive line in football. And 3 guys who'd never been OC trying to juggle the job. And he only got to 9 wins in his last season. And, if you're a defensive coordinator, you need an OC. You need an offensive line. You need a quarterback. It's impossible to win. And so I think he's kind of got hamstrung. The GM just really didn't do the right job. They got a defensive end, which was good, but they got skipped over to get that lineman, which would have really helped, by the Steelers. Pittsburgh stuck it to them. And then, you had a bunch of injuries, and then you lost Aaron Rodgers 4 plays in. It's, I'm not saying he's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but that's handicap. I mean, how much more handicap can you possibly get? But having Hackett as your OC, Zach Wilson as your best quarterback, and my grandmother and the 4 brothers, there's some decent guys, I guess, the center you got, he's okay. They had Connor there, the center, and he went down. Vera Tucker's great, but he went down. So he's like, I mean, how do you expect anybody to win like that? And so, it's even look at McDaniel. I think McDaniel's really smart. I'm not sure if he knows in-game stuff he's got to work on. But he's got Hill and Waddle and Tua, and he's got no offensive line. And you can see he runs into problems and struggles. So, for me, I think Salah is getting a raw deal.
Curtis, let me say this real quick. I know everyone talks about Hackett, terrible head coach, but listen, when you have a Ferrari and you get inside of a Ferrari, you become a hell of a driver. It doesn't mean that you're capable of driving a sports car. Because and when I mean Rodgers is a Ferrari, anyone could drive it. And
I agree.
I want to see the guy who could make the Toyota run like a freaking Ferrari. That's the Aussie that I want.
Fair enough. Hey, by the way, real quick, Curtis, look who's back below you. Trevor, talk to us real quick. Unmute that. It's been a long time. We want to. The chat has been waiting for Trevor. So, Trevor, talk to us about the game.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Watching this game, I felt a lot more. I felt really bad for Zach Wilson, so I'm not gonna blame him for this one. Robert Salah, honestly speaking, should not have the job. And I'm not going to lie to you, I wish that Woody Johnson have a backbone and let Aaron Rodgers know that he wants the team and not Aaron Rodgers. And the fact of the matter is that we're going to do things our way and not because, you are a Hall of Fame quarterback that we're actually kissing his ass, which is ridiculous, honestly. What happened in that game, I would have fired Robert Salah right there. First of all, not only because the offensive line was terrible, but it was awful. It was like every single play Zach was in the rest, but the defense got bullied. Yeah, the defense were bullied. Tyreek Hill didn't play in this game, but yet you let Waddle go crazy the way that he did. It was so bad. You had the Dolphins owner doing the Waddle dance. I hate that stupid dance. And it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It really is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna lie to you. To be fair, I don't see this changing next year. Listen. If any one of us were as bad at our job as Salah is, we'd be fired for our regular job. This is ridiculous. But because Aaron Rodgers, the future Hall of Famer, let's be honest, he has the entire franchise in his palm of his hand. Whatever he says goes. And I'm like, you haven't done anything to even warrant that, to be honest speaking. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, it's unfortunate. But let's be real. This is why I think the Jets will continue to fall in this role because there's no sense of leadership there. There isn't. Aaron Rodgers win the team. Overall, I just think that it was hard to watch. And I feel like, you're asking Zach Wilson too much now. Like, I know he's bad, but nobody can perform well with those type of conditions. That's just awful. And then honestly speaking, as a team as a whole, and we all watched the game, they quit on Robert Salah. They quit. And we see it. The fact that your team quit on the head coach and you still not have a job is ridiculous. And then it's like you play Washington tomorrow, like with Trevor Siemian. How is that going to happen next week? So we'll get to that later, but I don't know. It was just really, really bad all around, embarrassing, and it's what it is.
Trevor, I mean not Trevor. Kev, for you, Jose coming in. Did you hear about Roger was hurt before the season started? He didn't say nothing to get paid. Don't know if it's true. He heard it on a sports channel.
I didn't quite hear it. That's the first time. But remember, he did have a little bit of a sore calf in the preseason. I did remember that, like game 1 or 2, there was some soreness similar to Kevin Durant, and then all of a sudden Kevin Durant went down with Achilles. They saw a lot of comparison variable there. But it is Festivus, so we're airing our grievances out on everything. We even hammered Tommy in the beginning of the show, airing out the grievance of the time change. So so we're in festive mode here.
That's right. That's
But
right.
I want to give this real quick rebuttal so we can move on from this Jet
Yeah.
game. With when you say, Trevor, when the Jets had to go hat in hand to go get Rodgers. It's been 55 years since we haven't even been, not even win a Super Bowl, even appeared in the Super Bowl. When you're a franchise and want to change the perspective, the so-called quote unquote culture, the dynamic, you kind of got to take a calculated chance, because let's put it this way: if the Jets were right now third seed in the AFC, everybody in New York, and you know how over exaggerated we could get, the Canyon of Heroes will be firing up, possibly throwing a parade. So you got to take the good and the bad with it. I understand why the Jets went that way, but I agree with you. That's why I said we have to watch the next weeks. If these teams get totally shellacked and they don't respond for Salah, you gotta think about making a change. And if Rodgers doesn't like that, if you're gonna make the moves, then you know what? Maybe we have to rethink and with the draft pick trade. Yeah, he passed away 2 years ago. Yeah, I know Trevor seems shocked on Mr. Jerry Stiller. Yeah, and you have to think about getting. There's a lot of there's 3 good quarterbacks in this draft. You might have to start from scratch. If Rodgers don't like it, tough cookie. Minnesota, go to Minnesota. Follow Favre's footstep. Then, thanks, son. I'm good.
Yeah, man. Finishing up with that game, I feel like, to what Trevor was saying, I think the Jets gave up a while ago. I don't think it was this game. I think you can see how the season has gone, how the Jets defense has played, and then all of a sudden, at a certain point in the season, maybe I want to say about a month on now, the Jets defense has not been what it was, and the only way I could think of is they're just giving up. They're not. Why would I feel like they're not playing up to their full potential?
Can I say
because they have nothing to play?
Teacher?
Yeah. Go ahead,
Can I
Curtis.
say something, teacher?
Yeah.
Go check time of possession. These poor suckers
Oh,
have been
absolutely.
on the field.
Yeah.
Every football game's like a car wreck. They've already been like 2+ games than everybody else. They were on the field for like 22 minutes a game at a certain period.
But that doesn't mean, but exactly my point. So why they're definitely giving up in time, because they're saying, look, we're on the field this long. The offense isn't doing shit. They're putting us in bad positions week after week after week. That too. I think it was Colin Cowherd made a point. He was saying good defensive teams, the problem is they start stalling at the end because they got a lot of more injuries happen on the defense side of the ball, and you can't sustain it that long. Like if your team isn't balanced, meaning your offense stinks and your defense is great.
Time if you're a defensive team,
right,
you need time of possession to be like relatively close.
Yeah, because injuries pile up because you're on the field a lot longer. Just a lot of things. Plus, also, the defense eventually, I feel, goes, hey, man, what are we doing? Like, why are we doing all this when it means nothing at the end of the day? Like, so I kind of feel like they are a little bit giving up on Salah. I like Salah. I think he's a good defensive coordinator. I just don't see him as a head coach material, man. I just don't. And that goes for a lot of coaches out there. It's not just Salah. There's a ton of coaches that it's just not for them, So it is what it is. But anyways, Curtis, I know I cut you off earlier. Any other thing you want to talk about in that game?
Yeah. I mean, if you watch the game, Zach Wilson fumbles the ball right off the bat. They get a stop. The Jets defense comes out and stops the Dolphins. Then you get a fumble by Zach on like the 5-yard line.
That's not his
fault.
And
they score. And then you go for that stupid punt.
Well, that's where they lost the game.
Yeah. And so it took Dolphins 27 yards to get, 10 points or 2 scores or whatever it was. That's like ridiculous. I mean, how do you ask anybody to play like that? Okay, Zach Wilson you can control, but I couldn't blame Salah for that stupid. He did the same thing in the last game. He did some ridiculous thing the last time we played. What was it? The 5 seconds left, the Hail Mary. But there's another thing I think
Hail Mary.
Before that. Yeah. So this defense the Dolphins beat them. But if you go check, the Dolphins only averaged 2.8 yards per carry.
Right.
And if a defense is giving up, you'll see those yards explode. because
That's true.
you, in order to stop the run, you got to give your body up. And we were averaging like 2 yards a carry until like the very, very tail end. So for me, that says they're not giving up mentally, but physically and maybe mentally, they're just losing their cool. But I don't think they were quitting in the sense of like, screw it. You know what I mean? I just think their body was failing.
I'm going to add to that, Curtis, because week after week, they get the same stupid penalties. Offensive line holding, and where is the correction on the coaching staff with that? Do they practice, or are they there for catering at the facilities? Because it doesn't show that they're practicing making any adjustments to get away the penalties. Officials have a stigma of calling, every time there's a 15-yard or 10-yard pass play for positivity yards, here comes, you guarantee there's going to be a penalty, self-inflicting penalty by the Jets. And then again, that possession there where Zach fumbled, Mekhi Becton was blocking his own man.
Oh, I know. That was so bad.
I told you he was bad. I told you week one.
His knee,
I did not like
the
that.
same anymore.
I do not like him. Yeah, I told you injuries. He never got it together, man. He was
too big and the knees slowed him down.
But he's a first round pick that you have to trot him out there. Unfortunately, Tommy, that's the way
I get it. No, I get it, man. It just
they should
real quick
try
though.
To move him to guard, man, or something.
I don't know. You really think? Like if Rodgers was still playing, let's say an injury never happened.
Correct.
I still think that you guys would have struggled with the O-line issues and with the rest of the issues you have on offense. There was not many weapons stepping up. I don't think you would have struggled to this point, but I still think the O-line and the run blocking and pass blocking would have been a problem. No. Pass protection.
But he would have got the football out quicker.
Yeah, and he would have manipulated the line of scrimmage.
Look at
True, but what do you?
Burrow had the most historic worst offensive line, and they were in the Super Bowl. They were
with but weapons. They have dynamic receivers. They got two ones.
That's a classic second guessing on your part because
that's not second guessing. They have way better offensive weapons than you guys. There's no doubt about it.
The was going to be atrocious with the Jets. We did not know when.
No, I know that. I'm saying right now. I'm saying right now. I'm talking about right now.
That's why I said that's the classic second guessing. At the beginning of the year, we knew that they thought they were going to be dangerous, but they turned out to be a fool.
Touche. Yeah, no, touche. I get it. But that just tells me, though, that that's also building a team that you guys thought, like bringing in Rodgers guys, for instance, right? Like the guys that haven't worked out, the Cobbs and the Lazard, right? So to me, that just says, hey, they concentrated on the wrong thing. They should have built the offensive line properly, got their own receivers, maybe drafted some, and not just went with what your quarterback wanted. And it's really costing the team now. And
I
who
really
knows
think
moving
the Patriots
forward,
screwed you the most. The Patriots purposely traded back with Pitt right in front of you, man, and they knew they were going to take that lineman. Now, you guys were aimed for that lineman. And I know a lot of Jets fans said that wasn't true. That was like a screw job.
I know. The problem thing is Will McDonald doesn't even get on the field as much to play most of the snaps. He was inactive a couple games, so that makes it even worse, Curtis. Yeah.
Let's move on to the Patriots game. They got beat by the Chiefs. Yeah, 27-17. Let's start with Trevor. They did. They actually did. Trevor, let's start with you. I know the quarterback changed, Zappy, so go ahead.
I like first things first. I thought the way they responded at first, Zappy going down the field, a lot of really good drives in the first, especially in the first quarter. When we scored first, I said, okay, cool. They're moving the ball well. Only thing we have to do is just remain consistent. And again, Hunter Henry played very well. He could have had two touchdowns in that game. He was very, very good. For the most part, it's not much we were expecting, honestly. I didn't expect to win this game anyway, but the penalties, unfortunately, was the difference maker in this game. The time of possession was very, very simple. It was very, very even between us and Kansas City. Our defense did a really good job, especially early in the first half, to make Patrick Mahomes very uncomfortable. You can tell that he's not in tune with his receivers, as you can see, a lot of drops in that game as well. But at the end of the day, the better team came and pulled out the win anyway. But I was very impressed at how, despite all the injuries, we were able to make plays and and make it interesting, make it very interesting to say the least. Um, it wasn't like I didn't feel like the game would have been over at halftime. I felt like we had a chance to win it. I had a chance. I had a big thought we got a chance to win it, but it's what it is. It's moving on to Marvin Harrison Jr. I guess, but yeah, but overall, I was very pleased with our performance. Um, it's just the penalties, it's the stupid penalties on the offensive line that kills drives, and I think that was the difference maker there. But other than that, I was pleased with the team.
I am really like, outside looking in, but I am really surprised that you guys haven't really utilized Gesicki this season. Like, you've done nothing with the guy. Now, listen, I understand he's not your average, like he's not a blocking tight end, but you guys have that in Hunter Henry. So I'm really surprised that your coordinator didn't use that 12 personnel more and get Gesicki more involved with the offense. One, and then two, I do got to ask you the rumors about Bill Belichick potentially being fired after the season or moving on. What are you hearing?
I read that article from NBC, and until Robert Kraft says it out of his own mouth, I don't believe it. I'm not. It's a lot of unnecessary noise that the team is in need right now. Yes, we're having a bad season. I get it. I understand. Belichick is a big part of why we have regressed. But at the end of the day, if they're going to fire him, the thing that bothers me is it's all speculation. Like all speculation. If they're going to fire him after the Colts game, then they should have fired him after the Colts game. Why are you telling us this now? Like, who cares? At the end of the day, until Robert Kraft says, hey, listen, we want to thank you for your service, but we're going to move in a different direction, that's when I'll believe it. Until then, this is all speculation, and the media, that's just the media trying to stir things up, trying to see, which, again, is unnecessary. We're 3-11. We're a terrible football team. Like, why do you want to stir more drama that's not necessary? It's ridiculous.
What do the fans want, you think? Just curious. Like, what do the majority of the fans want to happen?
A lot of the families want him to stay. A lot of the families want him to stay.
You?
Me personally, if he was to remain the coach, I have no problem with it. I just need him to give up his GM status. I feel like we need to have a fresh face as far as personnel decisions. A lot of the personnel decisions on offense have been disastrous, especially in the drafts. Especially now with 3-11, we have a chance to have a top 2 or top 3 pick, and the last thing you want him to do is pick some tackle from Chattanooga. That's the last thing you want him to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm being serious. We had so many opportunities over the years to have players on the team. We could have had AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, but yet we settled for the Kill Harry and Sonny Michel. I mean, Sonny Michel's okay, but Nick Chubb is in Cleveland. Let's be honest, it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it proves to us more and more that, again, Tom Brady was the catalyst that kept the thing moving. It's obvious now. It is. But all the noise, all the unnecessary noise that the media is trying to do is like, it's not needed right now. We're just trying to finish out the season, and then we go on from there and try to figure out what direction this franchise needs to go in. Because right now, yeah, that's all I want to be in.
All right. Like Kev said earlier, guys, by the way, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and do that on Jedi Network, Sports Jedi Network, and Curtis's channel, Ace Per Head. All the support is needed for our channels, man. It helps us grow. And like I said, man, we're going to be continuing to do this show season after season until people just get totally sick of us. But for now, like and subscribe, man. I really appreciate it, and so does Kev and Curtis. Kev, your thoughts on the Patriots? Your thoughts on Bill Belichick? I guess I'll hit you with two
Absolutely.
parts there.
No, that's fine. I was watching a little bit of the red zone because it was going on at the same time with the Jets debacle against the Dolphins. But seeing that and watching the score and watching the highlights there, where the New England Patriots, I believe in the third quarter, they had the lead. So they were playing in front of the Kansas City. So you could see that team is still playing for Belichick. and still, playing, and not only for Belichick, for themselves. We mentioned it before. I've told that to Curtis, and I told that to before. Some of these guys, even if Belichick isn't returning back to New England, some of these guys want to play to keep their jobs or to show the league that they can still play and be and latch on somewhere else and be part of a winning team. So they're going to give that strong effort on film, and good job there going to Zappy for the Patriots. I know it fell short, but you got the best of the both worlds, Patriot fans. You lost where it's going to get you a better draft pick, but it wasn't a total slop where you were entertained, and that's a good thing. I wish my team was entertaining and lose than just being there and getting a blismo and trying to make it fun on a watch along. And I do the watch along, and that was disgusting. And you can't drink on a Sunday. For me, I got to work the next day, and that was disgusting. And I got to give kudos to you guys, Patriots. You made it competitive, and for Bill Belichick, he's a hell of a great coach. But I agree, he shouldn't be buying the groceries. Now, I want to put this out there. Where is Robert Kraft's input when they go in the war room and everyone else around them, the scouts, telling Bill, I know you're the head coach and you watch a lot of film, but X, Y, to Z player, they got to be someone to have to veto and tell in front of Robert Kraft right there at the moment to tell them when they're going to go at the draft day, no, I think this guy as a blue chipper look this way because and present the facts to not just Bill, to Robert Kraft at the same time. You got to give Kraft some equal heat at this as well because he's allowing them to make these picks. Jerry Jones won't allow that. And as much as Jerry Jones get complain about Jones not knowing, I'm getting a little feedback in the background.
Mute it, Trevor, real quick. Okay.
Thank you. And I'm hearing Jerry Jones don't get that heat. He looks and he listens and he over vetoes sometimes the coach who wants something out of and sometimes it works for Dallas. I know that's another story for the day, but Robert Kraft has to make himself vocal. He just can't be there coming fully relaxed from the massage parlor. He's got to say something and say, Bill, we can't take this unknown.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm actually been saying it for the last 2 seasons. I think Belichick is a genius of a head coach. I think he's a Hall of Fame head coach. There's no doubt about it. You can't take that away from him, regardless if you could do the whole Tom Brady debate or not. Belichick helped the Giants win a Super Bowl against my Bills. He put together a great defense. The Bills were supposed to win that game. He's been an outstanding coach, but GM is different. Right, you got to know what you're doing. You got to understand. You got to be also up to date with the times, right? And I think he's just building it how he's always built it, knowing he had Tom Brady always there as well to lead the team, and Tom Brady's not there, and you can't keep doing the things you're doing. And I think he's stuck with that. I think if he's willing to give up the GM role, I think he'd still be a great coach and a leader. And look what he does every single season. The team usually comes to play. Very rare does Bill Belichick teams come out and just score nothing or give a total, no show. Like they at least bring it. They're going to give you a dogfight for the most part. But yeah, I don't know what they do, man. That's very interesting what they do with Bill Belichick because it is true. If you wind up letting them go, who do you get? It's going to be it could be really bad, right? And then you're screwed again because the next guy that comes in could make things even worse. So I get it. It's a tough one. It's one of those things that are it's tough to do, especially when you got a Hall of Fame head coach. But I wish you guys well. I guess I don't know what you're going to do, but I do know that you're going to get a top 5 pick, and you better use it wisely. You know what I mean? It's the best as you can. But Zappy,
I heard there's some good punters out there this year.
But I got punters. I will say though, even if you go after Harrison. Obviously, you do know Zappy's not your guy. He's a good backup, decent backup, but you're going to have to address the quarterback situation regardless. Like you're going to have to. The problem is not having a quarterback in place. It's hard to build around something you don't have already. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're going to have to figure that out either via trade if you're not going to draft one, or draft one and and say fuck, maybe skip the Harris. I don't know. I'm not in that situation, but you need a quarterback. You have to have a quarterback. But that's what you guys have to do. But by the way, this question here is interesting. So, and end up being worth signing Aaron Rodgers, Von Miller. Here's the deal, and it sucks for both guys. I'll be honest with you. Von Miller was really playing well when we signed him. He got hurt, and it was ACL. It's not like we signed him, he did dog shit. He got hurt. It is what it is. I get his age. I get we paid him, but that's what edge rushers get. That's what elite edge rushers get. And it's not, once again, they're not robots. They don't just come back. You fix them in the back and they come back. It's going to take time. But you see Von Miller starting to slowly get better. He took his knee brace off. You can kind of see it. So I wouldn't say right now it's a shit, signing. And Aaron Rodgers, you don't know yet. I don't know. You don't know. So let's see. I would say next year when he's healthy, he's ready to go. We'll see. I could probably
to be over.
Exactly. Now I will say this though. If the Jets don't help him out, it's going to look like it was a shitty signing because Aaron Rodgers may not play well because of a bad offensive line, still no help. You know what I mean? And it may not even be his fault. So the Jets have to do their job and build around Aaron Rodgers to help him. Like, I don't care how great you are, you still need the help. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like he could be great, but here's the deal in New York, especially New York, and you know this. It's the toughest media. It's the toughest place to play as far as if you don't get the job done, you get criticized big time. So if Aaron Rodgers doesn't get the help, right, and he wind up missing the playoffs next year or getting bounced early, whatever happens, the fans are going to say Aaron Rodgers was a bad signing. You know what I mean? Sometimes fans don't step back and go, okay, what's the big picture? It's this, it's that, and that. They want to blame. It's always the quarterback or the coach. You know what I mean? Like, without really looking at everything. So that's all I'm saying. So Aaron Rodgers could potentially wind up, if you guys don't do well, being a bad signing per fans. You know what I mean? But maybe not true.
But let me rebuttal on that. And first and foremost, I like that. I need you on my channel, Ariana Grande. You are dope. I need you on that channel. I love the name. Let's go with it. Let me say this first and foremost. Aaron Rodgers, who has the most impact, Von or Rodgers? I say Rodgers is a bigger impact. Here's the reason.
Well, he's a quarterback. Absolutely.
Of course. Other than that, the Jets got how many? 7. I know we all roll our eyes and we almost vomited in all 7 primetime games. When was it? It was maybe last year where the Bills finally got on primetime.
No, we've been on prime time for a while now.
But it was a long time. But agree or not? Weren't you guys on a long time of drought?
We started getting our prime time games in 2020. I think we had 4 or 5, and then we've had 5 since. But I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Rodgers got you to primetime games. Also, that jersey sale went nuts. The season tickets went bananas. That's a huge impact. So even if he doesn't even play a game or no more, he retires. The Jets, as a business aspect, made money. And again, at the end of the day, all these owners, all these millionaires or billionaires, all they want to make is money. They don't give a crap about, some of them don't give a crap about winning Super Bowls, about making the money. So in the business aspect, I can't say Rodgers was a bust of a signing if he never plays another down for the Jets. But as a fan base and as an NFL fan, we all got cheated because he didn't get to play well. And yeah, that's my rebuttal to that argument going forward.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. I think they were talking about, and I know it's a not football related, but somebody was talking. I was listening to like a radio show, like 2, 3 in the morning, driving home from work, and some guy was talking about the what's the guy's contract over at the Dodgers? It got $700 million. Ohtani, right?
Ohtani, the novelty.
Yeah, Ohtani. So their guy was saying, you guys think $700 million is a lot? It's not. He's like, bro. He's like, if you add up the jersey sales in Japan and this and all the contracts that these companies that this team's making from Japan to US, he's like, bro, that's actually a cheap deal. He's like they're gonna make billions. So it's nothing. It's actually an awesome deal for the Dodgers, like in the long run, because they're gonna make that back like that. And so yeah, I get it. I get where you're coming from with that, like 100%. But I'm talking about fan base wise, article wise. Yeah. Media-wise, if it doesn't work out, they're always going to point back, of course, to signing. And I agree, though, obviously, the Rodgers over Von, because he's a quarterback, though, and you guys have lacked, obviously, a good quarterback in a long time. So, of course, I agree with you there. So, all right, Curtis, what do you think about the Patriots and the Belichick, all that crap? What's going on there?
Well, I was actually impressed that they did fight. I was actually surprised. I thought the Chiefs were going to lose, and at one point I was getting, oh man, because that offense is terrible, and Mahomes will make some big stuff happen on the move and everything, and Bill always brings a good defense, but then eventually it crumbled or whatever. But to me, you say right now that Brady made Bill, but then Brady went over to like an all-star team that had everything except for the quarterback, and he won a Super Bowl, and then he did. To me, Bill was the guy to bring in the two tight ends with Gonzalez and Gronk were brilliant. He just had a series of brilliant moves, and everybody runs out of juice. Landry, Knowles, Shula. Everybody just has, it's like an artist, like you only have so many good band albums before you just crap out. Like even Zeppelin started going down a tube, and when Bonzo died, it was like, okay, we really didn't have much left. And to me, Brady, he just got put in the perfect vehicle for him. And then so everybody just kind of says, oh, well, this. They worked well together. Brady needed help early on to build, and Bill was there. I don't like Bill. I think he's a cheater. I think Brady's a cheater.
Ooh, Trevor.
But as a coach and a player, I respect him and I understand. I know everybody cheats. I'm saying I know there's always stuff going on.
Stop deflating those balls. I heard you guys were having some issues with the balls again, Trevor.
To me, Belichick is one of the greatest of all time, and it's always like black and white. Like Brady was made by Belichick, then it became Brady made Belichick. It's ridiculous. I just don't know if the guy's got any good albums left. He's 71 years old. At a certain point, the juice, the ability to stay ahead of the curve, because like all these coaches that are ahead of the curve, it's brilliance or like almost genius. They're thinking ahead of the now. They're seeing the future, and when they see the future, they bring it to the present, and then they're ahead of everybody. But how much do you got in you? Don Shula ran out of juice. He was a GM too, and he didn't draft all that well. So I don't know. I still think the guy can coach. I just don't know if he can draft. And I don't even know if he can, because then even beyond that, if they're not able to stay with those mistakes, they keep making mistakes. And so maybe he just doesn't have that last bit left. So I don't know. I don't know if he's going to stay. I don't know if he's going to go. I know the guy was great. I know he's a cheater. And I know he's talented. I just don't know if he's got what it takes at 71 years old to keep going with this team. Maybe he could do like Brady and go to a team that's pretty much almost built and got a GM there and do well. I don't know. We'll see. But I think, Brady was phenomenal. But there was so many, if you ever noticed, there was a stat of Brady that anytime he got hit, his quarterback rating dropped the most out of any of the great quarterbacks. It dropped to like 60. And so, both these guys worked well together to do something that was unheard of. I got vomitous over their success, but I still think that they both made each other. And now it's just a hip thing to do is to bash Bill Belichick, but he might have to go.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same, man. I don't know. I think you might be right, Curtis, too, on the whole like, just understanding you're in a new age of football right now, just kind of understanding like, what's working now in the NFL, maybe, and what players are, especially on offense. Offense has changed throughout the years. It's totally changed. I don't know if he's adapted too well with that, but who knows? I don't know. That's up to you guys what you guys do. But let's get to the Bills Cowboys game. I'll start with Curtis first. Man, Curtis, 31-10 Bills. Just romped the Cowboys. And I was kind of close. I said, I think 34-17 or something like that, my score prediction. But Curtis, what do you think about that game in Buffalo?
Well, it was like the perfect storm for you guys. The rain came. You guys came out running the football. I think Hankins was out. And if you go, I did a whole breakdown because, my Dolphins are playing Dallas. And every team that beat Dallas ran the football over almost – it was 29 times the least, I think, was like Philly. You guys ran it the most at 49. Cardinals ran it almost 40. And then who else did they play? They lost, but I can't remember. I got it written down. But they were just beat up in San Fran. And that's the way you beat this team. They're good tacklers, but they're guys to get in the pass rush and get after you and play that balanced game. But once they get behind, they get very sloppy. The rain was bad. And you guys, you talked about it a couple of weeks ago, and it's something that's been set in my mind. The Bills have the same offensive line group from the beginning of the season. And I keep saying it over because if you look, there's so many calls that are not being called, but then there's so many penalties on these offensive line and so many injuries. It's a bad year for the offensive line. But when you got guys that stay together all season, it makes up for the lack of 2 days, the lack of hitting, and the lack of practice. And when you get these guys coming in and out, and offensive line is the most chemistry-driven unit, it's a huge, huge advantage. And that's what happened. What I saw was just the Bills dominating their front. And their front's more of an athletic front. It's a front to get after you in the pass rush. They're not great run stoppers. They expect the offense to get ahead. But your defense came up hot, too. You were able to get the pressure. Martin went down early. Smith got a back injury somewhere along the way. And you guys you brought the pass rush, and then you beat them up on defense with the run game. And that's scary as a Dolphins fan because Dolphins and a Dallas they're very similar. They got the quarterbacks are playing similar. They've got similar talent as far as the receiving unit goes. But the Dolphins have a lesser offensive line. I mean, they got, obviously Tyreek Hill's the best, I think, in the league and stuff like that. But it's concerning for me as a Dolphin fan matching it up. So if we can blow these Dallas team out, it's going to give me some hope. But if we lose to Dallas, that comp, I mean, we got a lot of injuries that need to get in there. We have a lot of guys, but the physicality, if that offensive line stays together and there's no more major injuries, you guys are going to be very, very tough going through. And that's, what you had said last year was that this Bills team is not built for its home field advantage. Well, now it is. I've talked about the run game and the play action and to be physical and all that running that you did last week. Let your defense rest. And those guys are now able to breathe a sigh of relief, and they're able to take some time off. And that's going to get them fresher as these last couple of games happen. So it was ultra impressive to be that physical and to run them out, not in a pass game. Let Josh Allen relax too mentally. And now teams actually have to game plan. They have to really be serious about stopping his run, but there's only so much time in a day to prepare. And now they got to deal with this run game, and Allen kind of starts fading a little bit into the back. And then when that happens, then you break him out, and that's when he can get the big games at the right time. So I think the Bills are peaking. Anything could happen. I mean, you get a major injury. Who knows? You could drop a game. It all. But what you saw last week really is demanding a lot of these other teams in the AFC to up their game. And Miami has their chance this week as long as, you don't drop your game. But I was very impressed. And that's what I hate to say it. I'm a Dolphins fan, but I do this as an evaluator. But that's what I wanted to see from you guys 3 years ago when I evaluated you. And Brady, I said that when he got hired, he's going to do a lot more for these guys than people expect. And some Bills fans were on it. They didn't really, but it's just a basic commitment to very simplistic concepts of football. And once they're implemented with the talent that you guys got, it turns you guys from one creature into another one. And that can be frightening. So congratulations, Tommy. I don't like it, but as an evaluator, I got to be honest. Now it's my Dolphins' turn to kind of step the stuff up.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I understand you wanted the run to happen earlier, obviously, for this team to succeed. But like you said in the beginning, we didn't have an offensive line like we have an offensive line now. Week 1 through now going through 16 with the same offensive line group with a much younger offensive line group. A lot of people miss that fact as well. We got way younger. The only guy that's not young is Mitch Morse, but he's still playing at a pretty good level. And he's a leader out there. He's probably the leader of the offensive line group right now. So you need a kind of a veteran out there anyways to lead that younger kind of group anyways. But guys like Spencer Brown, who a lot of people overlooked going into the season or wanted to replace, is having a great season. Osiris Torrance was an awesome pickup. McGovern was a very good pickup. Even guys that are on the bench, David Edwards. So I think this offseason, Brandon Beane understood finally that if you want a successful offense, you have to get a good offensive line that's young and that could last a full season without getting hurt, really. And a lot of veterans out there, that's the problem. They get hurt. They're on their last leg. So kudos to Beane for making that change. When he did, because it was needed. If you didn't do that, trust me, guys, we would be this run game would not be as successful as it is. But yeah, that game was crazy. It was a first time as a Bills fan since watching Josh Allen at least become quarterback, was the first time where Josh Allen wasn't Superman. Like it was like James Cook. Like he didn't have to play perfect football for the Buffalo Bills to win. It was awesome to see. It was awesome to see that Joe Brady didn't go away from the run game, because a lot of offensive coordinators, especially prior with Dable, with what's his name? Fuck, I even forget his name now. With our Ken Dorsey, they would go to the run game. Yeah, they would go to the run game. It would work, and go away from it for some odd reason, and it would just really hurt and affect the way the game was. So kudos to Brady for sticking with something that was working, because he was not going to stop until Dallas figured a way to stop it, and Dallas couldn't. And our defense, got to give McDermott credit. All the injuries this season, big time key injuries. Matt Milano, you cannot replace Matt Milano. I don't care who you are. You're not going to come in and replace Matt Milano. But guys have stepped up. They've done a good enough job to make this defense a good defense and a tough one. And look at our season. We have yet to be blown out. Teams don't just score crazy amount of points on us. So I got to give credit to McDermott for that, at least getting the guys to fill in and do the best they can to help this team win. So it was a good win, 31-10. I can't complain, man. I loved it. But somebody was here saying, like, they don't think we'll win out. Listen, right now I think it's in the Bills' hands. We got the Chargers tonight, which I think, listen, they're a shit show. No matter how you see it, I don't care what you say about trap game. There's no trap game here. And we'll get to that in a minute, but there's no trap game. They have nobody there. Okay, it's not a trap game. Listen, they got Easton Stick as quarterback, who was terrible. Has been in the league 5 years. Was awful last week. They don't have. Keenan Allen's not playing. They don't have Joey Bosa. So they have so many injuries right now to that team. I think offensive lineman's also out for their team. They are working with an interim head coach who, by the way, is going against, say what you want about McDermott, but he's going to, should outcoach this interim coach, which coaching is very important. And the Chargers fans aren't going to show up. It's one of the worst fan base in the NFL. So I just don't see us, having a setback game where we're going to get fooled and go into LA and drop a game. And then you got the Patriots at home, which, yes, the Patriots beat us, but listen, the Patriots right now, they're on a downward spiral, and I just can't see that happening. And then you got Week 18, and of course, who knows how that goes. But right now, and we talked about this, guys, a while back, we all know football is an 18-week, 17-game season. It's how you finish a season. And a lot of teams right now are starting to get the injury bug. And a lot of teams right now aren't finishing the season strong or fighting through, like I said, injuries. The Bills right now, believe it or not, are getting guys back, are actually playing their best football towards the tail end of the season. That's when it matters the most. So we'll see Week 18. We'll see where the Dolphins are injury-wise. They got a tough 2 games coming up with the Cowboys and the Ravens. So not easy, So I do think we can win out. I don't see why we couldn't. That's a very reasonable thing to do. So I don't know. What do you think, Jedi Kev?
Here's my thought. Buffalo wins out. They're going to win the remaining games here. They're not going to lose any of the game. I told you, Curtis, they need to win one of the 3 for Miami to be there. I think they just ran out of time. I think they're in the outside looking in, the tiebreaker situation. I don't think Buffalo makes it because, and not by their own doing. Well, you could say by their own doing, losing the games early in the season, but I don't think they're going to have the tiebreakers. I think they're going to be just fell short. They're a dangerous team if they get in the postseason because I can see them winning the first round, going in, even upsetting the second round. They're going to have to win a tough road game, but to watch that Dallas game again. I know Dallas came out later that they had the team was all ill. They had the flu, yada yada. No, so what? I told Curtis that, and I've said it many times on the stream. You don't apologize when you beat a team. Buffalo went and took care of business. They beat the team they had to beat, and of course, it just shows us Dallas. Like I always said, that star they're the number one star in fraudulent. That Cowboy team, that Cowboy is fraudulent. They're fraudulent team, and the only thing that sucks is you're gonna love Buffalo. You're gonna love this. What I'm gonna say, they might come out fire against Miami, but Miami is tough at home. So this is going to be a fun matchup. And I know we're saying right now, I'm going to go right back to the Buffalo Bills. 7 pass attempts for Allen. That's it. 7.
15. It was 7 for 15.
7 for 15. Come on. That was a classic 1990s type of game for the quarterback. And I told you about Cook. When I say about it, run the football with Cooks. Cooks is dynamic. And what happens when the weather changes and turns, when it gets colder, when you don't have the wind and all that good stuff, you need a good running game. And if Buffalo is coming on with their running game right now, like the offensive line is gelling, moving, that's a dangerous recipe. Allen could run the football himself. So they got a nice attack of, again, not letting their defense be on the field for a long time position. So listen from a Jet fan who sees their defense on there the most. You want to get that defense quickly on the field, get out, 3 and out, and get that offense back on. And that right now is going in Buffalo's favor. And if you're Buffalo fans, you're excited, but I think you don't have enough games to get in.
So we do, actually. So here's the deal. So if we do win out, there's teams that play each other that have the same record right now that are ahead of us. So one's going to equal out, one's going to fuck up the other. So we can jump those teams. Like, for instance, right now, like if Pittsburgh wins today, which are up 21-0 or 24-0 now, that drops Cincinnati down. And then I believe we would jump Cincinnati. If Houston loses, we also jump Houston. And by the way, they have their quarterback's also out again with the concussion. So there's a lot going in Buffalo's favor in making the playoffs. So I'm just letting you know that certain teams play each other that have the same record that's going to knock off one of the others. So like I said, Cincinnati loses today, they drop to 8-7. If Buffalo wins today, they go to 9-6. We jump Cincinnati. And then I think the Colts play Houston or something later on, and Houston plays some. So there's definitely an opportunity for the Bills to make the playoffs just because of that alone. Teams playing that have the same record that are ahead of us playing each other later down the road in the next 3 weeks. So absolutely. Now if we lose, then yeah, then then we're talking. Who knows? You know what I mean? But if we win out at 11 wins, we can jump all those teams.
Here we go. We got Colts the Colts play Atlanta and the Browns play the Texans.
Right. Exactly. So if the Browns lose, which I don't see that happen against Texans, we jump the Texans, right? If the Cincinnati loses today, which they're losing 24-0, we would jump the Bengals. I'm sorry. If the Bengals lose today, we jump the Bengals. You get what I'm saying? They're down 24-0 right now, right? If they lose, which probably is going to happen, we would jump the Bengals because they go to 8-7, we go to 9-6. Right now, the Bengals in playoff. So right now, the Browns are at 9-5, right? The Bengals are at 8-6, and the Colts. Those are your 3 wild card teams. If the Bengals lose today, which I believe they will, they'll go to 8-7. Buffalo, if we win tonight, we go to 9-6. We would jump the Bengals. And then if Houston loses, we'll also jump Houston, obviously. You know what I mean? So there is a lot that's favoring the Bills right now to make the playoffs. It's really up to the Bills how they finish the season. If we lose a stupid game like tonight or the Patriots game, then we're talking a totally different story. Then we're fighting for our lives to get into the playoffs. But if we win out, yes, they will make the playoffs. Simply because certain teams play each other. I think week 17.
Yeah, you'll definitely make the playoffs because you'll win the division.
No, well, that too. But that's only if you guys drop one more. You need to drop. You need to drop right. You need to drop the Cowboys or the Ravens, which I think you will. I think one of those two games you're going to lose, and then I think the division and it's crazy, Curtis. You actually called this at the beginning of the season that Week 18 is probably going to come down to the division.
I know it.
Yeah.
I know it. I said that last year with who was it? Who does the Dolphins play? The Dolphins played Jets. I said it was going to come down to that for the Dolphins. It's gonna. I think that the Bills. I mean, because you look, it's really fascinating what you guys are saying, because you look at this week. The Bengals lose. You guys win against the Chargers, that's probably going to happen. Then it's the Browns versus the Texans. One of those guys are going to lose, which is going to drop it down. And if you win,
Houston. By the way, Houston plays Indy Week 18. There's the other one that I was telling you guys.
Yeah.
They also will cancel one. Will cancel the other out. Cleveland plays Cincinnati Week 18. That's going to cancel somebody out. You get what I'm saying? So there's ways that the Bills are going to be able to jump no matter what, because
they just can't
unless
lose.
They can't lose.
Got to lose one.
Exactly. Now, if the Dolphins lose, if we're talking division,
control of our own destiny.
Absolutely.
I love that.
Absolutely. So right now, I think we know what we have to play for. Can't afford to lose, obviously, another game, but. No, right now, if we win out, we 100%, even if we don't win the division, even if the Dolphins don't lose to Dallas or Baltimore, wins the division, and we win with 11 games, we still get in. So just by those teams facing each other. And then obviously today, Cincinnati losing.
At your guys' house, you're going to win those two games.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I just can't see. Man, dude, guys, I will be cursing my ass off.
I'll be here, Tommy. I'll be here.
So yeah, that's how I see it, because trust me, I've been looking at the schedule, because a couple fans have reached out and like, oh, there's no way, even if we win out, we still have an opportunity. We still might not make the playoffs if all those teams win out, but that's impossible because a couple of these teams play each other, so they can't win out. You know what I mean? So that's just how it goes, guys.
No ties. If there's a tie, you're.
No, there's no tie. There's no. That's what I'm saying. Right. No, we would have to lose the game.
If the Browns team tie with the Texans, that's
ties. Yeah. But you got also Indy at Houston. You would have to have another tie there. What's the chances of tie? I think there's been one tie this year. I'm just saying, like the chances are
tie yet.
No tie yet.
No ties yet. So there you go. No. So I'm not too concerned about a tie. I just feel like it's in Buffalo's hands right now. It's up to them. They either win out, get in, or make it rough and lose a stupid game.
But that's a great thing. As a fan, that's all you can ask. For my Dolphins, we haven't been doing that. We haven't done anything since the flood. But at least we have control. If we screw it up, unless the refs do their thing, there's no one to blame but yourself. So to me, that's the beauty. I really want Dolphins and Bills to be there Week 18, to take it all. I want my Dolphins to have to make that critical win. I'm excited for it. I think that no matter what, it's going to be a big deal, because you could say somehow you lose a game and you don't get in. Just by beating us, you could hurt us very bad, because the Ravens have some tough games. And if somehow the Dolphins go 3-0, they could end up with the first seed in the AFC. So there is going to be a bloody Week 18.
Oh, absolutely.
Slice it. And that's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's football. That's football. I'm very excited.
I wish. You don't think
go ahead.
McDaniel is wants that circle that game when Buffalo coming into Miami, a Week 18, and those players that they got embarrassed and being called fraudulent, and they want to make a statement in Miami to beat their divisional rivals and possibly knock them out of the postseason. That's going to be, like you said, Curtis. That's going to be even if Miami wraps up.
Beautiful. It's going to be beautiful.
They're going to be out there for blood, so that's going to be a war. The final week of the season
beautiful, man. That's what football is all about. I mean, it's beautiful. That's why when I saw it, I was so excited about that matchup.
Absolutely.
You don't need a pill for that. You don't need a pill for that.
Nah. That's going to get me. It's going to be so good. And I really think that Miami get this Dallas game. I think they're going to have a real hard time with the Ravens. And I think that's going to put it where, like, both teams are right there, and whoever wins it is going to take the division. And it's going to be so epic. It's going to be very, very tough, because I haven't been doing my Bills coverage lately. but it's gonna be. I'm gonna make sure I get it that week. But it's gonna be it's gonna be so beautiful, you know. And so, well, it's very exciting when you go back to it because you guys were talking. I was going through the schedule. There's some really cool games to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's why when certain fans are like, oh, I'm like, you gotta look at all the games being played by all the wild cards right now. There's some tough games coming up, and a lot of these teams play each other. So that's why I feel like it's just in Buffalo's hands. I'm making the playoffs. They just got to win out, you know, and they're in no matter what. Trevor, what do you think about this game, the Buffalo Cowboys game?
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that the Bills won. It's just how they did it. I was expecting them to beat them up like that and then completely bully them from start to finish. But like I said before, at the Eagles' loss, when they lost to the Eagles, I said the loss wasn't going to hurt them as much because I predicted they were going to win out anyway. So I expected them to beat them, just not as bad as they did. James Cook completely just ran on them the entire day. It was crazy, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm really not surprised by it, honestly.
What's crazy is James Cook was 8th in running. After that game, he's 2nd. So, I mean, what a wild turn of events for him. Because nobody was talking about James Cook really before that game. He had a couple good games this season, but I think now the spotlight is starting to shine a little bit more on James Cook and what he can do. I still wish he would gain a little bit of weight, and I'm hoping he does in the offseason and improve his pass protection. That's one thing he struggles at. Because if he could do those two things, I think he could be a dynamic running back. But man, his speed, his vision, his patience is really starting to show. And it's awesome to see, man. By the way, Fournette is being called up. He's going to play his first game. And I like that.
You guys are leaning hard into this run game.
We are. Well, Ty Johnson's out.
I'd be very excited.
No, listen, I'm very interested to see what Fournette has in this game. I'm very interested. This is a perfect game because if he doesn't have it, he's not anything special, or he's just not the guy for us, no big deal. I think we can win without him. We can put him right back to the sideline. We got Ty Johnson, who's been running pretty good. So yeah, man. So let's get to the schedule this week, man. So let's start with Washington, New York. Let's go with the Commanders and the Jets. We'll start with you, Jedi Kev, man. Commanders at Jets. Talk to us, man.
Just JETE, just end the season.
I like it. So by the way, who's starting at quarterback? Is it going to be Zach?
Trevor Simeon. No.
Okay, so Zach's done, right? Okay, yeah, what happened with him? A concussion or
concussion, head injury? He's a head case. And that's exactly what it is, head injury. And Rodgers, by the way, Rodgers will be dressed, and it will be the third emergency quarterback, by the way.
That's crazy. Okay, so score prediction for just shits and giggles. What you got?
Yeah, of course. I think Washington Commanders win that 21-9.
What 21-9?
Yeah.
Commanders?
Yeah.
And okay. Wow. All right. Go to you, Trevor, man. What you got, man?
I think the New York Jets pull it off. I think the Washington Commanders are awful. I mean, I like Sam Howell, but this is the offense. The offense is really, really, really bad as well. So, but despite that, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go with the Jets. I think the Jets pull this one off. Honestly, it's gonna be ugly as hell, but at the end of the day, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Jets to win this game.
What do you got?
16-10.
Okay. Mafia talk. By the way, Mafia talk. I'll talk to the audience later today about that. But anyways, my buddy over here, Jay. Yeah, I talked to Jay earlier, guys, about Fournette, and he was asking me about. This is before we went on live, but asking me about Fournette if Fournette was going to play, and I told him I believe he will. And yeah, so I was right on that one. Curtis, what you got on this game here, Commanders and Jets?
Well, it's in New York, so you never know. Injuries can happen to turn things
and they
around.
They will. Okay. All right.
But after what I saw from that offense, Washington defense isn't bad. I mean, they still, despite getting rid of those two edge guys, they got rid of Sweat and I always forget the other guy's name. They sent to San Fran. This Jets offensive line is atrocious. They got no quarterback. They got a good defense, but they can run the football. They got a little bit of talent on the offensive line of Washington. So I think Washington's going to win. I like Kev's 21-9. I don't know if that's what's good. Maybe 17-9, something like that. I just don't think he got the offensive firepower. I think the Jets defense is beat up and tired. And they could make some big plays, I mean, but that offense is bad. And I don't get either. That's another thing. I mentioned this. I wanted to ask you, Kev. If you watched the game before against the Titans, the Jets, they were having Wilson on a mobile platform, having him roll out. Like, I was like, oh, this is the formula. And then they went to play the Dolphins, and they totally said, screw that. They did like a Dorsey and said, you know what? That's a winning formula. I think we got to scrap that one.
Right.
Let's go for something totally new. You know what I mean? So I don't know. And maybe I just don't see Simeon being a guy to beat this defense. They got a good corners. They got a pretty good safety, good linebackers. So I like 21-9, 17-9, something like that.
Yeah, because if you're the Jets, why not tank? Why not go ahead, put Simeon?
Oh, it's the best thing for you. Get a lineman. There's a lot of good linemen out there.
They'll probably get the lineman from Notre Dame, the left tackle, on there, and of course, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, you have Washington beat you, and they'll jump ahead of you, and then you just keep falling back in the draft. You could even actually trade for a ransom if they want a quarterback. Again, that's another story for another day. There'll be plenty of time to break that down.
Yeah.
Good for you guys.
Yeah. At this point, it's not a bad thing. So, God, it's tough because I like your defense. I think your defense is still so damn good, man. But your offense is terrible, really bad. And God, in New Jersey. Okay, I'm gonna go. Commanders have some firepower, believe it or not. Still, they have some guys that are playmakers. So. They're not totally a shit show, but they're bad. So I'll say 20-10 Commanders. I think the Jets, once again, at the end, the defense sputters out a little bit because the offense just isn't doing their job. Or I can also see maybe Washington getting some turnovers on defense, putting the Commanders in better field position to get those points. So, because I don't see the Commanders driving down the field on the Jets defense. I see this more of turnovers or just, maybe a block punt, something stupid. Yeah, a field position, just bad field position. And that's how the Jets give up some points, in this game. So, 2010. I think that's where we're at there. By the way, too, yeah, what a stupid fucking call. The fake punt. You guys got away with us, but it's
no, that was dumb.
What are you doing?
That was the worst.
I totally forgot. I'm like, what are you doing?
They changed the complexion of the game there, even though they were not going to win. They got to the end result quicker with that stupid result. It was
bro, coaching in general, it's so mind-boggling, guys. This year, just I know it's not AFC talk, but or whatever. But the Saints played. Who are the Saints playing? The Rams on Thursday. So the Saints are down 8, and they fucking onside kick it with over 2 minutes to go. What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
What are you doing? That. That's what I'm talking about with coaching. It's just mind-boggling. Why would you give them field position on a? You have plenty of time to get a stop, get the ball back, and you would probably get it back with good field position on a punt. I don't get sometimes coaches what they think, man. It's just crazy, bro. That's what frustrates the hell out of me sometimes in games. It's I don't get it, man, of some of these decisions that they make, man. I don't get it.
And then people are upset about what Tom Brady said about the quality of the league with the coaching and the players, and how easy it is now, how a lot of these players and these coaches don't know how to adjust properly, or the quality is bad. And people get mad at him for saying that. It's true. People like Dennis Allen shouldn't even have a head coaching job. He's terrible. But that's a whole nother story.
Yeah,
hey, question, what's worse? The quality of the coaching and the play or the quality of the reffing?
Oh, that's
The refereeing is that's an all-time low, all-time. I don't know what the hell they call him from week to week. It's. I don't think they know. It's bad. It is bad this season, but it is what it is. But the coaching, at least the coaching, you could control. It's your team. Like they have that power. The refs, they're out of your power. They call a flag. That's it. Like nothing a coach can do about it. But anyways, Patriots at Broncos. We'll start with you, Trevor. Patriots Broncos.
Very similar to happened last week with the Chiefs. I have a feeling the Patriots could fuck around and bullshit this game, but I'm not going to go there. We're missing Hunter Henry, so who is Zappy throwing the ball to? So yeah, they can't run the ball because Ezekiel Elliott can't find any holes in the last couple of games. I don't know how we're going to generate any offense. The Broncos defense has played tremendous since the 70 points still lacking. And they played a lot better, and they're trying to keep themselves within playoff positioning. I do think that the Broncos will win this game 30-17. But other than that, I think that the defense will keep it competitive, how they did it in Kansas City. But I don't see how we're gonna struggle. We're gonna struggle to score a lot of points. We're gonna struggle to score. But I think 30-17.
Okay, all right. What about you, Kev?
Remember, you were a couple minutes ago, going on this. Patting yourself on the back. If they win out, they get in. Not so fast. Broncos got the tiebreaker on you guys. Remember that.
Yeah, but Broncos are behind us right now. They lost last week, so they're not ahead of us.
But if Bronco wins out and you lose that game to Miami, don't pat yourself.
Yeah, we would have to. Right, we would have to, but we would have to lose.
You'll be even.
Don't pat yourself.
Yeah, I know that, but we would. I said if we win out. But you didn't hear me. I said. Yeah, but no. Hold on, wait. I said if we win. I said if we win out, though.
Whoa.
But you're not listening. You're coming back. I said if we win out, it doesn't matter if Denver wins out. We're ahead of them because they're behind us one game. You understand? We would have to lose.
And find out what you said.
Absolutely, I said win out. If we win out, everybody asked that. I said if we win out, which I believe we will. Yes, we will make the playoffs because of that.
Let's take a minute for Tommy to get your color back. You're turning too much red like a shirt.
It's the truth. I don't know what you're talking about.
No. I think listen. New England's going to play a hell of a game again, but I think I'm actually going to help you, Tommy, so you can get your color back and you could get back to that nice paisley pale color skin that you are. I think Denver loses this game because you're going to see the issues between the head coach Peyton and the quarterback Wilson. I don't think they like each other, man. I think they're going to make a mistake here, and I think the opportunistic Patriots win this out. So that's going to be one team out of your notch that you don't have to worry about. And I think Buffalo is going to be happy at the end of the day because I think New England pulls that major upset and beats Denver. That's going to be a Christmas miracle.
Yeah, I don't think Denver's anything special. I think they went on a little winning streak there. I understand they beat us, and then they had a couple of decent wins, but I don't think they're anything to write home about. They're an okay team. I think they've played better. They turned it around a little bit, but I'm not concerned about Denver. By the way, I know it's not football related, but Deontay Wilder lost today, right now. It's a bum. Joseph Parker. It's like a bum bar boxer. So
he was broke. He was broke.
He's come down a lot.
That's a wrap for Wilder, by the way. If you lose to a B fighter, it's over with. Anyways, so what did you have the score prediction on for that game?
I think New England wins 13-14.
Okay, Curtis, what you got, man?
I think Peyton's just a really good coach. I think the defense is playing decently solid. They've got a good offensive line. They got some weapons. Wilson can move. They got a run game. I think they're going to win. 24 to maybe 16 or something like that. Patriots just they got some issues. They don't have enough weapons. The defense probably played good, but they're really beat up. They're at home, Mile High. It's always like a pain in the neck to play there. The weather, the air's a little thinner. I think they win. I definitely think they win.
What do you got?
I think I said 24-16.
Okay. By the way, the Bengals scored, but then the Pittsburgh came back, scored right away, 31-8, third quarter, 9 minutes to go. So right now, Steelers in charge. Pickens, 4 receptions, 195 yards. He's having himself a game.
I like Mason Rudolph. I was surprised they didn't go with him a little bit more.
Yeah, crowd was chanting for him early on when they were putting.
Went on over the Trubisky guy.
I'm surprised. Yeah,
his nose is shining bright. His nose is shining bright today.
Yeah. I got so this game. Oh man, Patriots at Broncos. I'm gonna go with Kev on this one. I think the Patriots upset the Broncos in Denver. I think the Patriots defense is still pretty damn good. They still want to play for Bill. Maybe the rumors are true, maybe not, but you know how players usually, back their coach and want to play for their coach, especially if it is, or they feel might be his last season. They don't want to go out like that. So I do think they're going to bring it defensively. I think they'll do enough offensively, just enough to get the job done. I'm going to go 23-20. I think the Patriots went on a field goal, like a last-minute field goal. And win the game, and Zappy's carried off on Bill Belichick's shoulders. Yeah,
I don't know.
Bill Belichick's carried off the field.
Wow, man!
I'm working
4 catches for 195 Pickens. That's nuts. 48-yard average. 48-yard average.
Yeah. So. Yeah, no, and the game's not even over, Curtis. They still got a whole quarter and a half to go. So he's going to get probably well over 200 unless they totally stop going to him. So, yeah, that's a really good game for Pickens. So, anyway, so let's get to the next game. Let's see. We got through the Jets, and let's get to the Dolphins game. Dallas at Miami. Curtis, you're getting an angry Cowboys team that want to prove they can stop the run, and they don't want to lose 2 in a row. So what do you got, Curtis?
Well, I think it was the worst thing in the world for them to get beat the way they did. It creates like an image. It really was just a perfect environment for them to lose. Dolphins, their offensive line is a shambles. Tehran's injured, but he's still going to play good. They've got Cotton, who can't really play. He's like a third stringer. They've signed some guy who hasn't played for 3 or 4 years. He's the backup center. They got Eichenberg at center. They got Robert Jones at right guard, and he's a little bit of a turnstile. They don't know what they're doing with the interior. Jackson, some people like him, some people don't. He's injured. And then you got Lamb in the background is good. But that offensive line is going to be the key. Hill, I think he's going to play. I think he's going to play well, but I don't know if they're going to be forcing him to run block and to really just, be a dog for the whole game. I think he's going to play a spot role. And the Dolphins have to run the football. And it comes down to yards before contact. It comes to them driving the ball off, being able to run inside. And it will be interesting to see if they can do that. I don't know. They have some options to do it. But then you got Parsons on Austin Jackson. That's not pretty. And then you got Lawrence on the inside on versus, some of these guys I just mentioned. So Tua's going to have to get the ball out quick. You're going to have Hill and Waddle, but they got Bland and they got Gilmore. This is going to be a tough battle, and they're very similar teams in a lot of ways, both heavy play action. Smith is out for the Dallas Cowboys, their left tackle, and that opens the door for us. And then Martin, he's dinged too. Will he finish the game? So to me, it's going to be how these offensive lines respond. And I think it's going to be a lower kind of scoring game, like a 24-17, 27, 21 type game. I think these defenses are going to come out and they're going to play relatively decent for these, high-powered offenses. But the offensive lines, they're on the spot. I mean, we got $23 million Chubb, and he's going to be going against Adoga, who's a backup. He's not bad. He's like a in between a backup starter. And then I got Steele, who they're paying $16.5 million a year on a right tackle, and he's not so good. He's going against Van Ginkel, who could be a problem. And so it's going to come down to whose offensive lines play better. And so that's And there's more questions with my Dolphins, but we got a little bit more firepower. We got the quicker release. So I just think it's going to come down to those offensive lines and who can run the football, who could be physical, who cannot screw up. Is the Dallas Cowboys going to run bland mano a mano on Hill with no safety high on him and get caught, burned for easy touchdown? I don't know. I don't know how stupid they're going to be. So if they play 2 cover high safeties, play them man, they let the clock run up to 2.4525 seconds and let that pass rush get to Tua, it could be a day where they actually pull it out. But, if Martin goes down and they start getting a little too aggressive on their defense and they get caught for a couple of big touchdowns, it's going to be hard for them. They get very sloppy when things don't go their way. They're not really disciplined on the road. So, I'm really concerned about them. I think, my evaluated side says they're going to win because I just love the offensive line. I think the Dolphins' offensive line is in a worse place and they've got more potent pass rushers. But I got to go Dolphin fan time and say the Dolphins will win 27-21. But I'm torn, man. I'm so torn because I'm an offensive line guy and offensive line is in shambles. So I'm praying for the football gods because I don't want to lose. If we lose that game, then it really means that we got to take this Ravens game. And as a Dolphin fan, it is a time of hope and opportunity because we're in control. But if we don't make it happen, it could end up being a nightmare. And so there's just this polarity. And, it's really nerve-wracking as a Dolphins fan. And I don't know, because – Chris Greer decided to build this offensive line in a very weird way, and we were 10-4. So you're like, okay, well he's got some wisdom to him, but it's going against tried and true formulas, and I am just very, very concerned that where we're headed, that we won't have the offensive line to drive us through. But we'll see. So I'm going to go fan frenzy and say we're going to win. But inside of me's.
Let's get to unappreciated panelist below Curtis.
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause, you let that Rudolph comment go off, man. You guys are rough. You guys will be terrible in a comedy club. I tell you.
Hey, I try to catch on to some of your comedy. I like the Jets one you made. That was funny.
I was typing. Yeah. I didn't hear it. I can't do 2 things at once.
By the way, Curtis, if the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, I want you next season. If the Dolphins win or get to the Super Bowl, remember this way because they're not going to win it. They're going to get to if they get to the Super Bowl. I need you to wear all AFC Shakedown every Saturday a Hockenberg jersey.
Yeah, I will. I'll be his greatest fan. Eichenberg and Jackson.
Right, you heard it. Hockenberg jersey.
I'll have a shirt that says Twin Towers of Power.
No, but here it is. You guys, this is called the Heimlich Bowl at Hard Rock because if the Dolphins lose this, they're gonna need a Heimlich because they're gonna choke away the division if they lose this game. They got to go out there and take care of business against the fraudulent Dallas Cowboys. That's the one thing. They're playing against the most fraudulent team in all of professional sports, as those Cowboys. Miami, you have the Cheetah who wants 2,000 yards. The Cheetah is going to go bananas, going to go berserk. They didn't need him against the Jets. He's going to – look, you guys are going to win this easily, 31-17 against those frauds.
I like that, Kevin. I like that.
My goodness.
Don't worry. Smile. Get ready for
I like that.
Don't worry. Get ready for
I'm going to record that, and over the next couple of days, today and tomorrow, I'm going to play it for like backup. Emotional support.
Christmas is here. Ho, 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 and all that good stuff. Have some eggnog. Relax. It's going to be the Cheetah Christmas. He's got to make up. He's got to get those 2,000 yards for those bonuses. He's got a lot of baby mamas that he has to take care of. Oh
my God. Trevor, what do you got, man?
I'm going to remain consistent. I think the Bills moving up the Dolphins. I'm sorry. I think the Dolphins are going to lose out and lose the division anyways. I think it starts here. I believe that the Cowboys, I can't believe I'm saying this, I can't stand them. I think the Cowboys are going to come out and win this game. Pretty pissed off that they were beat the way they were against Buffalo last week. I think they're gonna come back here with a vengeance and take it out on a team who hasn't beaten a team or 500 all season. And I think that streak continues. I think I think the Cowboys. I think we should see Pollard, be able to run the ball efficiently. And I think that they should win this game 27-17.
So
Okay.
in agreement, we all think so far Miami's going to win. Is that how it works? All right, Trevor. All right,
Scott-
so we got 3 out of 3 so far. Tommy, get on the team, the winning team.
Well,
4
Scott
out of 4.
Blakely says Dallas 99-0. So they're setting records against you guys this weekend. So look, I think both these teams. I'll be real with you. I think Dallas and Miami have struggled against better opposition this year. Teams over 500. I think they both have. I don't think Miami's won a game for a team that was over 500. And I think Dallas has struggled as well.
Dallas beat 2 teams that were winning.
Yeah, I'm saying they've struggled as well. So, but here's the deal with Dallas, man. I think they got blown out. I know they did. They got blown out versus us, and I think they're angry. I think they want to prove something against Miami that's not the team that they are. I also think if they could stop the run versus Miami, it will make Miami one-dimensional, and that's where Dallas thrives on defense. Dallas will get after Tua, and that's where Micah Parsons is at his best. That's where Dallas defense is at its best versus passing-heavy teams. Now if Miami gets the run game going, then it's a wrap. I think Miami will open it up, and the floodgates will open up, and they'll probably win. Same thing as 31-10, something like that. But if Dallas could somehow stop that run attack, which I think Miami's a little bit different of a run team than Bills. They like to go outside a lot. Dallas may be able to stop that, but we'll see. But like I said, they stop Miami's run attack, which I think they will. I do. I think Dallas can win because of that pass rush.
4 out of 4. Miami's gonna win. I love it. Yeah.
And I think
we're in agreement.
Yeah. I think your defense is also just really. I don't know how to read your defense. It's so odd. One game looks great. Next game, they fall apart against the Titans. Like I don't know what I'm getting from your defense, and that's what's scary about if I'm a Dolphins fan. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. Like, so I think Dallas has the weapons to put some points up in a much better, by the way, a much better place to play for Dallas than Buffalo. Right? Weather conditions are going to be a lot nicer. It helps Dallas. So I think Dallas's offense will be better as well. So I think Dallas wins this game. I do. I think it's going to be 34-24 Dallas. I think they're going to bounce back. And I think Miami's defense is going to fail against their CeeDee Lamb, Pollard. They have weapons. I think last week for them going to Buffalo, bad weather conditions. It just everything in that game was just not good for Dallas. It's totally against what they do well. They're a dome team going to Miami, much better weather. Like I said, if they could cut Miami's run game going, eliminate that, then I think they'll blow out Miami by at least 10 points. So that's where I got it for that game. Now let's get to the last game, and then we'll get out of here. Buffalo in LA against the Chargers. Curtis, we'll start with you.
Chargers are going to win 99-0, right, Scott?
That'd be unbelievable.
And everything, man. Come on, there's no way the Chargers are going to win. They're toast. They're toast. I think the biggest thing that the Bills have to be concerned with is just no injuries. And if they can, in the process, tune themselves up in their running game to keep building those reps up, it'd be good for them. But there's no way they're going to win. 31-10, 34-10, something to that effect.
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and go to the Festivus panelist now.
Yeah, that's right.
Go ahead. Switching it up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's gonna be a festive Saturday night here. Of course, maybe Tommy will have a couple more Coronas in him.
Absolutely.
And sit here and enjoy.
Absolutely.
Salud. Here we go. We're gonna get a virtual salute there. Little Johnny Walker back there. There we go.
Salute, my friend. Salute.
Festive. Let's be festive with those likes. Let's hit those likes.
Absolutely.
Here it is. Buffalo's gonna win this game. It's everything's there in the writing on the wall that Chargers are not gonna win this game. They're playing out the string there. They're gonna be more worried about what they're gonna eat for Christmas than putting on what they're gonna put on the field in catering. Easy game, easy money, light work. Buffalo wins. A score doesn't make a difference. It's a win.
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Go ahead, Trevor. What you got, man?
Yeah, I bet the Charger fans are happy for Christmas that Santa has finally granted them their biggest present, firing Brandon Staley last week, which is great for them.
63 points.
I would hope so. But it took them long enough, but they did. Other than that, even with the spirit of giving of that, they're not beating the Buffalo Bills. Let's be honest here. Their quarterback, what's the guy named Easton?
Easton Stick, supposedly not named after the Easton hockey stick, but I don't know how you name your kid that. But anyways, go ahead. Easton Stick. Yes, that's his name.
I've got an Easton Stick in my pants.
Hey, yo. Oh, wow. Nah. Oh, damn. Yeah, that was a good one, Kev. That was a good one. Anyway. But, he's like a guy that doesn't belong to be in the league. Buffalo should be up by at least 30 points at halftime, and then they can just rest out and just chill for the rest of the second half. It's gonna be over by the halftime. Buffalo wins by 1,000, or as Scott Bakley would say, 999.
Wow, you're adding another 9. Oh, thank you. I'm going to say 37-13 just to get it wrap this up. 37-13. I just don't. I think the Chargers right now, it's not a trap game, guys, because they don't have their quarterback. They don't have Keenan Allen. They don't have Joey Bosa. They're missing offensive linemen. Like, they are so banged up anyways. Even if they had their head coach still, it would still be the same result. They're just the Chargers are I don't even know what to say anymore about that team. Smart to fire. Not only did they fire their coach, they fired their GM. You got to. You have to listen. You have yourself a franchise quarterback. You have yourself playmakers on defense. You have playmakers on. What is going on with that Charger team? It's crazy, guys. But I'm cool with it. So I just think there is no trap game here. I think if the Bills handle their business, which they will, they understand what what this means, this game means, what's the next 3 games mean, really. If they lost, then listen, Buffalo doesn't even deserve to be talking about as a contender at all. You cannot lose this game. So, and I don't think they will. I do think, though, this game, I do think they're going to try to get the receivers more involved because the receiving core is a little shaky lately. I got to admit, they have not been playing well, and you can't, not every game is going to go as smooth as the Dallas game where, the run game, James Cook is just taking over. Defenses are smart. They're going to take out your primary weapons. That's what they do. So we need to get our receivers back on the same page with Josh Allen, especially Gabe Davis, who's been a no-show this season, and he's on a contract year. It's crazy to me that he's playing this terrible. Stephon Diggs is a lot of drops lately. Really not like him. Odd. So we need to get that receiving game going, and I think we do it this game just to kind of get that their mojo back, let's say, as the receiving core goes. I still think we run the ball. Leonard Fournette is being called up for a reason. I think Ty Johnson's probably won't play. That's the reason why you'll see Fournette. But I think it'll be balanced. But I do think Allen will have over 100 yards, unlike last week, where he had 96, I think. So you'll see a little bit of both passing game and running game against the Chargers. They got to get that going. And I think Joe Brady's going to want to get them going, get back to being right again and get them geared up for the playoffs, because you got to have a more balanced team. Now you can't go just running like crazy. It's not going to work that way. You got to have a little bit of balance, like Curtis loves to say. Balance is everything in the NFL. 37-13 is where I'm at here. So, guys, we need to get to Trevor's epic rant, and I did not forget you this time.
Yes.
And we'll get to that now.
I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog. We don't need no meows. We don't need no cats. We need more dogs.
Yeah, that's Curtis like. That's what Curtis likes. Right
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, go ahead, Trevor.
I must see this now.
There's nothing with a little puss.
If you are a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, you might want to turn this off right now. But yes, I'm talking about the Lakers that bother me. So the Lakers are a story franchise, one of the greatest franchises in sport in North American sports. We can argue that, right? 17-time NBA champions, one of the most storied franchises ever. I hate them. I'm a Celtics fan. I hate them, but whatever. But these guys had the audacity to raise the in-season tournament banner like it was some type of fucking achievement. Like what type of participation trophy banner is this? Like, do you see the Yankees doing stuff like that, posting division championship banners? No. Do you see the Patriots doing that in their heyday? No. It was just ridiculous. Like, come on. Like why are we doing this for? Now again, if the NBA wants to be, new and trendy, and they want to add in-season tournaments, so it gives the players some type of incentive to actually give a shit. And let's be honest, they don't give a shit about the regular season. There's no reason to care about it. But to have a ceremony and T-shirts and a banner as if they won a championship, won a world championship, this is embarrassing. And people are saying, "Oh, I bet you if the Lakers didn't do it, no one would be saying anything about it." You're right. We wouldn't say anything about it because we wouldn't care. But since you guys are so trying to, y'all want to take so much attention so much that you go to this depths and do this. There are people who hated this. People are saying that, oh well, that's another check mark for the GOAT, LeBron James. Motherfucker, you still have 4 rings, not 5. Just leave it alone. The ones that matter are in June. We all know that. It's ridiculous. I can't believe they played themselves, even tried to play themselves and be like, oh well, I'm gonna put this title banner right next to one of the legendary championship banners they had there. It's disgraceful. Come on. It's the same way how the Colts, when the Colts have a banner for losing in the AFC Championship game to us in 2014. I'm like, this is embarrassing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? Like, we need to stop rewarding mediocrity. Stop rewarding participation behaviors. I'm tired of it. Like, oh, you get a trophy. No, you win, you lose. If not, try again. This is bullshit. But that's my rant.
No, when you lose.
Thank you very much.
When you lose, you get the bird.
Sad world.
By the way, Trevor, I couldn't agree more. Like, wow, 7-0 banner. Woo! By the way, NBA, it's all. I think the NBA, by the way, forced the Lakers to do that, to put that banner up, because initially the Lakers said they weren't going to do anything like that. Then they changed their mind. I think the NBA wants to push that garbage on people, that means anything, the in-season tournament. Imagine if the NFL does that. I hope they don't. Such a joke to do something like that. It means absolutely nothing. So I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you talked about that, because NFL, don't do anything dumb. Just keep the game the way it is, please. Don't do what the NBA is doing. It's all a bunch
dead to me. It's been dead for like 20 years.
It's garbage. And not only that, my team's 25 straight losses, but that's another story. God, anyways. Guys, so here's the deal. Next week, we got 2 weeks left of the AFC Shakedown. So here's how we're going to finish the season. Week 17, we're going to be on Jedi Network. And then week 18, we'll finish it here because Trevor and Juan, well, at least I don't know about Trevor right now, but Juan is going to talk to you guys about his future on this program and what his next step is. And Trevor may know by then as well. I'm not sure, but that's week 18. I wanted to do that with where it all started. And that was on Mafia Sports Report. But we're not going anywhere. AFC Shakedown, regardless, is staying here. I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate Curtis jumping on with us this year, and he's going to be here next year. Jedi Kevin.
Even when I'm late.
Even when you're late, and I told you 5.
You got to remind me 5. It sounded like next season. Like next season, man.
Jedi Kev, thank you once again. You've been a blessing, man. It's been awesome to work with. Trevor, honestly, man, and we'll talk, week 18, but if you decide to leave or go, whatever happens with you, but I couldn't do this without you guys, honestly, man. So thank you so much. And obviously the chat, guys, obviously we could not do this without you. This started a couple years ago. It's been awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys also supporting their channels as well. You don't have to do that, obviously, but the fact that you go and support their channels means a lot to me. This show, like I said, we're going to get better. We're going to continue to have fun on here and do what we do. So, any last words, gentlemen?
I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to everyone.
Absolutely.
Especially Merry Christmas.
100%.
We'll be on next year before the new year. You guys, the chat makes it. Scott, who's crossed over, has come on my channel and blessed the channel. He's been a blessing as well, meeting everyone. Despite that we disagree on the football teams, and Beth as well, appreciate it. You can find me on Sports Jedi Network on all the different platforms here on YouTube, on Twitter, BX Sports Jedi, Facebook, everywhere. It's all in my video description. You guys are awesome to meet you guys. And again, we all know that your love and your loyalties is to the Mafia Sports. We're not trying to poach or pull you onto our channel, but we like you to see you come on and say hello.
You want to become a Dolphins fan? I'm fine with that.
No, but you know what? It's not fair. They're supporting this channel. But if you like other sports, we ask you to come by and say hello. Even a quick hello. Even if you come on and quick say hello, it means a lot to us content creators. Period. Because you know what? A quick hello, you thought about us, you stopped in, at least for me speaking, and I appreciate that. Scott, I appreciate when you stop by. Of course, hook up Joe as well, stops in and says hello. So I wanted to shout that out in the Christmas. You guys, all of you, Bet, you guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. And guys, continue to support. If you like it, support it, keep supporting it because it helps us. And you know what? And maybe one day you'll come up here and join us as a panelist, at least on any other different program, different show. We would love to hear from you. So again, Merry Christmas. We appreciate it. And again, thank you, Tommy, and getting to meet all you guys. Hope you guys enjoy your Christmas. Hope Santa brings you all the gifts you want, not just football. I'm talking about in life and everything there. And it was a pressure. And this drink is for you guys. Amen.
Thank you. Salute, brother. Salute. Curtis, any last words before we go?
I just want to say thank you, Joe. Special thanks for classing up this joints over there in the Jets world and the Bills world. The world needs guys like you bringing class and quality to their side of the game. Thank you, Joe. Very good. You're like Santa Claus, bringing presents. Dolphins presents. Aqua and orange presents. But
by the way, Trevor, you were missed, man. I got to say, a lot of the chat was this Trevor.
Yeah.
They love you guys. I hope you don't leave the program, man. And we'll know more, obviously, week 18. And obviously, too, Juan is going to be missed, man. You guys are awesome together. But, Trevor, any last words for everyone out there?
Yeah, actually, definitely. I remember. I first of all, when I asked to do this, first of all, I'm happy to do it. Really, really excited for it as well. But the one that really drawn to me the most was how Bill's Mafia really gravitated to myself and Juan as Patriot fan. I know we're division rivals, but how y'all able to gravitate us and how respectful you guys are hilarious. You guys bring out the punches. You guys are ready. And I would appreciate the chat. The chat is incredible. But it's Bill's Mafia especially that really supported us a lot. Like Scott, Jose, Beth, a lot of you guys. So I really appreciate the love, and we'll see what happens. Again, I'm just taking it one day at a time, and we'll see where we go from here. But again, I appreciate you guys for allowing us to be part of your Saturday evenings. So thank you. I appreciate
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely. So, guys, too, real quick before I head out, this AFC East Shakedown will be at 5 o'clock moving forward. So, no matter what, Curtis, 5 o'clock Eastern time moving forward. And he's on mute, so this is good. This is a good thing that Curtis is on mute. So he's throwing up signs.
I don't want to screw everything up. Screwed it up enough to enter. I don't want to
It's
screw
all
it all the
right.
way out.
It's all right. So, guys, I will be going live in 10 minutes on the pregame show. So I'll see you guys soon. So everyone we appreciate you guys. Have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you next week as well. By the way, it's on Sports Jedi, so don't miss it. All right, guys, see you later. Go Bills. Peace out, and we're out of here.
Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
See, Peter, he's too fast.
You gotta tackle me. It's B. You gotta press B.
I'm pressing B. He's too fast.
Going over here? Going over here now? Never get tired.